Alicia was the APL Athlete of the Year voting this year. 165 kilos is a monster opening attempt. And it looked just like an opener should. I don't think there's any question on that one. 3 white lights there for Alicia. And just like that, we are through the first round of attempts for the Women's Master Finals. Going back to 70 kilos to retake the opening attempt for Helen White. 154.32 pounds. Want to give a shout out to our spotting and loading crew. The UTSA boys are probably the fastest in the country. This morning's session, we got through, I believe, 14 different lifters and 2 flights in about 40 minutes. Helen got called on some up and down on her first attempt. Looking to come back out, retake the weight. Moved better than the first one. 3 white lights there. Helen is on the board. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Shelly Stettner is coming out for her second attempt. 115 kilos. This is going to be a Masters world record attempt. I believe Shelly is in her early 70s, and she's looking to squat nearly double her body weight. Bars loaded for Shelly. First world record attempt of the USA Powerlifting Pro Series Finals. And with how her opening attempt moved, I'm pretty confident this is going to go as well. Funny enough, this is a world record attempt and not an American record attempt because she actually owns the American record, but she set it at regionals this past year. Solid second attempt. That looked great. She's going to get 3 whites for it, and that is a new world record, the first of the Pro Series Finals. All right, the bar weight is going to remain the same. Coming out for her second attempt will be Deborah Mazzullo. Just a 2.5 kilo increase for Deb. Gets her squat command. A little bit of a slower attempt there. Let's see what they say. She's going to get 3 reds on that. She's called for depth. From my angle up in the booth, it looked a little close, but going 3 reds there was probably pretty clearly high. $120 kilos on the bar now. Second attempt for Janice Francis, 264.5 pounds. Just a 5 kilo increase. That moved about the same speed as her opening attempt, and I think that's a really good sign for her third. She absolutely dunked that one. 3 white lights. Now we're going to cross over the 300-pound mark for the second attempt for Heather Foss. 137.5 kilos getting loaded on the bar. Heather is one of the state chairs of South Carolina, along with being on the executive committee with myself. Getting fired up there with some quad slaps. Heather is an absolute competitor. Solid walkout, eyes straight forward once again. Smiling halfway up, she knows she's got that one. Oh, but she doesn't. 2 reds to 1 white. No lift on depth. A little bit of a mix-up with how the rack is set up for Alicia. $180 kilos on the bar, a 15-kilo increase for Alicia's second attempt. Looked like a pretty easy walkout. Gets the squat command. Moved pretty smooth for a second attempt there. 3 white lights for Alicia. Coming back around to start the third round of flights for the women. This will be the third and final attempt for Helen White. Went up 75 kilos. To 75 kilos. She missed her opener on up and down, came out, retook it on her second, and nailed it. Hoping to hit this third one and keep a little bit of momentum going into bench. No question on depth there for Helen. 3 white lights. Good lift for Helen. 75 kilos on the board for her. I got to think that opening attempt might have just been a misgroove then. Her third attempt actually moved better than her first or her second did. Bar is loaded now to 115 kilos. We're going to retake the second attempt for Deborah Mazzullo. Gets her squat command. Depth looked good from up here. 3 white lights for Deb. She's going to get that 115 kilos. Now coming out for another world record attempt. Shelly Stetner, 117.5 kilos. Bar is loaded for Shelly. I don't see anybody back there, though. They might just be timing out this attempt. Yep, looks like she's just going to go ahead and time out this third attempt. With only 6 lifters in the flight, it is the courteous thing to do to time out rather than to scratch and not eat the clock of your competitors. As the clock ticks down now, they're going to load the bar up to 125 kilos for the third attempt for Janice Francis. Bar is loaded, third and final attempt for Janice Francis. 125 kilos, 275 pounds. Looked like a better walkout than on her second. Big brace there. Dunked it. She's going to get 3 red lights there. I think she jumped the rack command. Yep, that's what it is. They're confirming it out there right now. I could kind of see it. It looked like she stepped forward with her left foot before the chief referee, Jim Battenfield, signaled for her to rack it. We have 2 more attempts now for the women. Heather Foss coming out with 137.5 kilos on the bar again. This is a retake of her second attempt. She missed that one 2-1 on depth. Still looking confident here, though. She moved it well on her second, just cut it a little high. Stands it up and gets the rack command. Gets the lift this time 2-1. The opposite of what happened on the second one. The center and the left judge gave her a white. They gave her red on the last one, and this time the red judge gave her a no lift for depth. But she got 2, and that's all that matters. So she's on the board with 137.5 kilos, moving into bench. And now for the final squat attempt for the women. Alicia Webb has 190 kilos on the bar. Coached by Josh Rohr, another executive committee member for USA Powerlifting. Alicia's looking excited for this one. Solid looking walkout. Big brace. I think she's going to get that one. And she does. 3 white lights for Alicia Webb. 190 kilos is a good lift. That honestly looked better than her second attempt from up here. And now the women are complete. We're going to move into the men's Raw Master division. $130 kilos on the bar for the opening attempt of Jerry Shetka. Easy looking opener there for Jerry. 3 white lights, the judges would agree. 170 kilos or 375 being loaded on the bar. Opening attempt for Monty Laughing. Bar is loaded now for Monty. Asking for the crowd to get loud here for this opening attempt. I've had the honor and privilege to be able to commentate for a couple of Monty's events. He is definitely a crowd favorite. Slower into the hole, but fast out of it. 3 white lights there from the judges. Good lift for Monty. Bar is going to move up to 195 kilos. The opening attempt for on win. 430 pounds. On his taking his time, making sure he's getting under the bar exactly how he wants to. Gets his squat command. Very controlled squat there for On. 3 white lights, good opening attempt. 212.5 kilos being loaded on the bar for Dwayne Madir. $468 and some change on the bar. Opening attempt for Dwayne. The descent and ascent of that squat looked virtually identical. Very controlled. 3 white lights for his opening attempt. Just going to go up 5 kilos on the bar, 217.5 for the opening attempt for Ron Garofalo. 479.5 pounds. Ron gets a squat command, takes his time. Another controlled opener. 3 white lights for Ron. Now we're going to take a sizable jump here. Opening attempt for Mark Leonard. This is kind of a dream squat for a lot of open lifters right now, and we've got a master lifter opening with it. 584. Mark out of Michigan being coached by Dane Roach, who is also coaching Shelly Stetner in the women's division. A little slower towards the top there. But he's going to get 3 white lights for it. Depth looked incredible from where I'm at. Bars moving up 2.5 kilos, 267.5, just shy of 590 pounds. The opening attempt for William Waller. William is another lifter I've been able to commentate or at least ref a handful of times. Gets the rack command. Let's see what the judges say on it. That's going to be 3 reds for depth. Yeah, the replay definitely shows it was high. We've got the USAPL Netherlands president. I'm going to butcher his last name, but I'm going to try it. Robin Kensenhouse. Moved pretty good for an opening attempt. Judges agree 3 white lights. All right, coming back around the second attempts now. We have 145 kilos on the bar. Jerry Shetka, 15-kilo jump from his opening attempt, which was successful. Depth looked good from my angle. Judges agree, 3 white lights. 145 is good there for Jerry Shetka. Crossing over the 400-pound mark for Monty Laughing, 182.5 kilos. 12.5-kilo jump. I like this. This is a more aggressive one. And Monty's getting close to that 3 times body weight range right now. Getting fired up here. A lot of energy coming from Monty here. Depth looks undeniable for me. 3 white lights there for Monty. I got to be honest. The descent looks like it's going to be incredibly difficult for him. He just might have a little bit of a tough time getting into position. But standing up out of the hole, it kind of looks like he's just getting up off the couch. $207.5 on the bar. Second attempt for on win. Also jumping up 12.5 kilos. Depth looks good. Just got to stand it up, and on does. Let's see what the judges say. Ooh, depth was not good. He's going to get 1 white light from the center referee. In his defense, that's my perspective as well. But 2-1 no lift there for On. I imagine he's going to come back out and retake that as his third. And yep, I'm seeing it entered in there now. He's going to retake 207.5. Little bit of mix-up on the screen right here. Bar is going to get loaded to 217.5 kilos. It's going to be the second attempt for Dwayne Madeir. And this is a world record attempt for Dwayne's age and weight category. Come on, Dwayne. A world record attempt on his second. Looking a little nervous on the walkout, gets a squat command. Slow and controlled into the hole. It's a little bit of a sticking point. Let's see what the judges say. And he's not going to get the lift. 2-1 no lift. He's getting called for depth from the right side referee. In a blue from the front. That's got to be up and down. We do have a jury. So the jury might be reviewing it. It looks like now Dwayne's coach is coming out to talk to him. Potentially try to challenge that lift and see if they can't get it overturned. And it looks like we have another world record attempt. 230 kilos. Second attempt for Ron Garofalo. Up 12.5 kilos from his opener. A little bit of a shaky walkout. Gets his squat command. He's going to take time getting into the hole. He's able to stand up, lock it out, gets his rack command. And the judges give him 3 white lights. That is a new world record for Ron Garofalo. 230 kilos. Depth is undeniable on the replay. So I believe that puts us at 2 out of 3 so far in world record attempts here in this Masters division. 3 more second attempts. Right now we have the second attempt for William Waller, 267.5 kilos. He got called 3-0 on depth on his opener. He's going to really need to sink this one here. I think depth was better than on his first. Is he talking to the ref? He's going to get the lift 2-1. I'm curious what happened there. Oh, I wonder if a spotter bumped it. I've been to a lot of meets in my time. I don't think I've ever seen the lifter change where they were looking in the middle of a squat and still get it, let alone with nearly 600 pounds on his back. I think for that, the spotter had to have touched it on the left side. but the fact he was able to stand that up is incredible. All right, now we have 277.5 on the bar, just shy of 612 pounds. Second attempt for Mark Leonard. Depth looked good. Just kind of slows down in about that midpoint up. He did the same on his first, and now that he's done on his second and he's still getting 3 white lights, I'm way more confident about his third. $290 kilos on the bar now, 639 pounds. It's a 15 kilo increase here for Robin. Jury member Bill Sindelar was up and moving. That's a little scary. But let's see what Robin's got here for his second. Lets out a roar at the top. What a great fight for Robin, and he's going to get rewarded 3 white lights there for the second attempt. 290 kilos is good. That sets him up so well. All right, little reminder. This is USA Powerlifting Pro Series Finals 2024, sponsored, hosted by Texas Strength Systems San Antonio. This is the Raw Masters Finals. We have the third attempt now for Jerry Shetka, 155 kilos. Oh, he's getting told to replace the bar. I think they're telling him he's got to lock his knees harder at the start. A little interesting, they didn't tell him to do that on either his first or his second attempt. Stands it up, it moved pretty well. 2-1, good lift. He's going to get called for depth from the right-hand side. This replay should show that. Replay was pretty close on that one. 2-1 makes sense for it. 195 on the bar. How close is this to 3 times body weight? Just shy of 3 times body weight for a Masters lifter. Monty Laughing, 195 kilos, essentially 430 pounds. Another good-sized jump of 12.5 kilos for the fan favorite Monty. Letting it out. Come on, Monty. The crowd's with you. Locks it out. 3 white lights for Monty. 195 is successful. What a great lift for the fan favorite Monty. Moving on now. Third attempt for on win, 207.5 kilos. This is a retake of his second attempt. I believe he missed his second one on depth, 2-1. Could be slightly mistaken about that. He's able to stand it up there. He's going to get no lift on that one, 2-1 on depth. He's going to get the white light from the center referee. Bar's moving up once again. Another world record attempt, 220 kilos for Dwayne Madeir. Trying to slightly move up his world record that he just set a few minutes ago. He was good with 217.5. Let's see how 220 moves for him. Gets the squat command. Dunks it and lets out a roar. 3 white lights for Dwayne. Extends his own world record from just about 8 minutes ago. Bar's going up once again, 235 kilos on the bar. Another world record attempt for Ron Garofalo. 518 pounds. Ron also looking to extend his own world record by 5 kilos, one that he set just about 8 minutes ago. Gets his squat command. Huge grind there for Ron. Depth look close. He's going to get it 3 white lights, and Ron will extend his own world record another 5 kilos, 235, 518. Good lift for Ron. We are down to our final 2 squats for the men's session. Robin has elected to scratch his 3rd attempt after his grinder 2nd attempt. I got to imagine that's just to conserve energy moving into bench. 272.5 or just over 600 pounds being loaded on the bar for William Waller. Missed his opening attempt on depth, came back and got 267.5 on his 2nd, up 5 kilos for his 3rd. Not able to get it. Shout out to the spotters and loaders, the UTSA boys, for catching that bar. Not sure what happened there with him. Kind of looks like he may have gotten injured on that one. Fingers crossed that he's all right and can continue in the competition. And we are to our final squat of session 2. 282.5 kilos, 622 pounds. 3rd and final attempt from Mark Leonard. Oh, they're going to restart his clock. Rack height was off. Coach Dane Roach is going to pull him back. Let him regroup. Mark's fired up here for this 3rd attempt. This is a dots-based competition, and right now, this will be a big one for Mark as he's trying to hunt down a podium spot. Gets his squat command. Dunked it, and honestly, it looked like his 2nd and his opener. Fast out of the hole, 3 white lights for Mark. And just like that, squats are complete for session 2 here at USA Powerlifting's Pro Series Finals. Session 2, the Raw Masters Division. We're going to go to a 10-minute break, and we will be back for bench. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back from our break. We are getting ready now to start the bench press portion of session 2. Helen White going to lead us off with a 55 kilo bench. Three white lights for the opening attempt for Helen. It's going to secure herself a subtotal. Bar is loaded, opening attempt for Shelly Stetner. 65 kilos on the bar for her opening attempt. Coming off of a world record squat. "30 seconds left on the clock for Shelly. Three white lights for the opening attempt for Shelly. You might have heard a little bit of a mix-up there from Chief Referee Jim Battenfield. Gave the ever-popular squat command instead of start for the first on the bench. Bar is going up to 67.5 kilos now. Opening attempt for Deborah Mazzullo. Three white lights there for Deb. Little bit of movement on the chest, but she still moves it fine. 75 kilos on the bar now. Opening attempt for Heather Foss. Heather taking her time now. Getting the unrack from the spotter. Gets her start command. Controls it on the chest. Three white lights for her. Bar is loaded with 82.5 kilos. Opening attempt for Janice Francis. Pretty solid moving opener there for Janice. We have the final opening attempt for the women here this afternoon. 115 kilos on the bar for Alicia Webb. Alicia had a very good squat session, going 3 for 3 and hitting 190 kilos. And if that opening attempt on bench is any indication for her day, she's going to put up a monster total. Nice soft touch on the replay. Very fast press. Bringing it back around now, second attempt. Helen White coming out first, 57.5 kilos, 126 pounds. Just up 2.5 kilos from her opener at 55. Three white lights there for Helen's second attempt. Now, if you saw there, our chief referee, Jim, was standing up to give the hand signal so Helen could actually see it. What that's saying is we had a master's lifter up there. Hearing kind of goes as you get older, and that's one of the things we can do for people is we can stand up and give them those visuals, or we can even tap them on the shoulder if requested. Coming out, second attempt, 67.5 kilos. We have the world record squatter, Shelly Stetner, up just 2.5 kilos from her opener. No liftoff for Shelly. Gets her start. And that is a fantastic looking press for Shelly. She's getting pretty close to that point where she's going to be bench pressing her age. Deborah Mazzullo out now for her second attempt at 70 kilos. Gets her start. Very solid second attempt. She's going to get 3 white lights for that. Seeing a handful of smaller jumps to start us off here. The first 4 lifters in this flight are only going up 2.5 kilos, and that's going to bring out the second attempt for Heather Foss. Up 2.5 kilos, like I said, 77.5, 171. Solid looking second attempt there for Heather. 3 white lights. She's having a solid day for herself so far, currently sitting 4 for 5 on the day. This time we're going up to 87.5 kilos, a 5 kilo increase from the opening attempt for Janice Francis. Janice gets her start command. She's able to lock it out there, but I believe she's going to get a no lift on that. Yep, 3 reds for up and down movement. You can see it about 3/4 of the way up. I thought she was going to be able to lock it out. And right there, the bar dipped down maybe about 1/2 inch or 1 inch. Pretty clear, though. I think with that, yep, they're just going to go ahead and retake. We're up a 7.5 kilo jump for Alicia Webb. We're at 122.5. 270 pounds. That looked like a fantastic second for Alicia. I'm excited to see what she's going to put in for her third. With that second attempt from Alicia, we're going to go into the third attempts for the Women's Raw Master Pro Series. Third and final bench press attempt for Helen White. She's coming out to take 60 kilos for her third and final attempt. Not going to be there for Helen today. She's just going to get credited for 57.5 kilos. So now we're going to get the third attempt for Shelly Stetner. She set the world record in the squat, and now she's going to go for the world record in the bench press. 70 kilos. This is just under her age. I believe she's in her early 70s. 154 pounds. Looking to get a second world record on the day. Yep, Gino's saying it Masters 4 lifter. That does mean she's in her 70s. Never even a doubt there for Shelly. 3 white lights, securing her second world record attempt. Great performance here from Shelly thus far. We're going to move the bar up another 2.5 kilos, this time for the third and final attempt for Deborah Mazzullo. 159.8 pounds on the bar. Getting the unrack from the spotter. Gets her start command. Just not going to be able to lock it out there. She will get credited with her second attempt at 70 kilos. I think she might have jumped the press command on it just a little bit. Bar is loaded. Third and final attempt for Heather Foss. 80 kilos. 176 pounds on the bar. That looked like a really good third there for Heather. Playing it safe, though, just going up 2.5 kilos at a time. Let's watch the replay. I think she probably had another 2.5 kilos. But the nice part is it doesn't really matter what her total is at the end of the day, so long as her dots is the best. And currently, she's the leader in the clubhouse with a forecasted dots of about 420. That'll change as deadlifts go on. But right now, she's up by about 10 points on Alicia Webb towards the back end of the flight. So the bar's loaded for Janice Francis at 87.5 kilos. She took this on her second, didn't get it. Looks like she's just going to time out. With this many lifters, it is courteous to time out rather than scratch and not steal your competitor's clock. We have another world record attempt coming up. This time it's for Alicia Webb. World record on her third bench attempt, 129.5 kilos. The chips are out, 285.5 pounds. She took a big jump from her first to her second, and a pretty similar jump this time, just up 7 kilos, trying to chip the world record. Not there for Alicia today. She did a really good job getting down to her chest to make that soft touch, but after getting the press command, just didn't have it to fire it off. But okay, with that, the women are done benching. We're going to move on to the men. We have 8 men benching. And the first up is going to be Jerry Shetka, opening with 87.5 kilos, 193 pounds. Self handoff for Jerry, 87.5 kilos, gets a start. Not successful on his opening attempt. He's looking like he's hurt. That's not a good sign. 90 kilos loaded on the bar for Monty Loffing. 198.5 pounds on the bar. That was a very fast opener for Monty. I would predict about a 5 kilo increase there for his second. The bar is going to go up to 112.5, and it's going to stay there for the next 2 lifters. The first of which is going to be On Win. On's looking to try and build some momentum. Not the best squat session for him. He only went 1 for 3. He got his opener. And then missed 207.5 twice on depth. Very controlled opener for On. 3 white lights, 248 is good for him. Same weight, just changing the rack height, this time for Dwayne Madeir. Solid looking opening attempt there for Dwayne, and the refs agree. 3 white lights. 130 kilos going on the bar. Opening attempt, Ron Garofalo. Dwayne had a very successful squat session. Hit 235, which was a new world record. Speedy off the chest with the opener. Slowed down a little bit at the top, but he's still going to get it. 3 white lights. Bar is loaded, 145. Opening bench for William Waller. Williams, another lift who had a bit of a struggle in the squat session. Going 1 for 3. He hit his second attempt, which was a retake off of his first. But his opening bench moves all right there. And he's going to get it 3 white lights. $170 on the bar. Opening attempt now for Robin Kensenhouse. Very solid opener there for Robin. 3 white lights. Taking a massive jump on the bar now, up to 205 kilos. Opening attempt from Mark Leonard. Mark from Michigan, my home state. I've had the pleasure of watching this man lift for a few years now. That's a textbook opener there from Mark. 205 is good. 3 white lights. 1/3 of the way through the men's bench session. Going back to 87.5 kilos. Going to retake the opening attempt for Jerry Shetka. 193 pounds. He's kind of favoring his left shoulder here. I'm a little worried for him. He missed it on strength on the first attempt. Gets the start command. He's able to lock it out, but he's going to get a no lift there. 3-0 red cards. Excuse me, red lights, 2 blue cards for up and down, and a yellow card from one of the sides. Could be his foot coming up, could be his butt, I'm not sure. But he was able to press it this time. I'm hoping he can come back out on his 3rd attempt and get that in order to stay in the competition. Bar is now at 95 kilos. 2nd attempt for the fan favorite Monty Laughing. Gets the start. That was a fantastic 2nd attempt. I think 5 kilos was a good jump there, and I'd like to see it again. I also wouldn't hate a 7.5 kilo jump. $117.5 loaded on the bar for the next 2 lifts again. Coming out first will be On Win. Was successful on his opener at 112.5. 5 kilo jump. His opener looked very controlled. Looked virtually identical to his opener. 3 white lights there. I expect another 5 kilos out of him. But the bar is going to stay at 117.5. We're just going to change the rack height. This time will be Dwayne Madeir. Dwayne getting his start. Deep sink, presses it out. Gets his rack. 3 white lights for Dwayne. Really sunk it and loaded up to fire that one off the chest. I expect a 5 kilo jump there. I think he might have been a little bit closer to his top end than On was. Bar is now at 132.5. 2nd attempt for Ron Garofalo. That was a pretty speedy second there for Ron. A little bit slower towards the lockout, but he got it 3/4 of the way up very quickly. He only went up 2.5 from his opener. I'm expecting another 2.5 out of him there, but I wouldn't hate a 5 kilo increase. And for 5 kilo increases, we've got William Waller coming out to take his second. 150 kilos, 330. Second attempt not there for William right now. I imagine he's just got to retake that. It's a bummer to see some missed lifts out of Will. Very strong lifter, and he's trying to compete for the win. Currently with forecasted dots, he's in second. I think he's got to figure out a way to make more attempts and hopefully get 3 out of 3 on deadlifts if he's if he wants to try and run down Robin here. Robin's up 5 kilos for his second attempt, 175. 386. $5-kilo jump isn't there for Robin either. That one kind of surprised me. His opener moved pretty well. And it looks like Robin's also going to scratch his third bench attempt. So he's going to go 1 for 2. So he is currently the leader in the clubhouse on dots. Forecasted at 482. That's assuming he hits his opening deadlift. And he's right now clear of everybody by about 10 or 15 points. Mark Leonard unracking his second attempt at 210. Very controlled. Oh, that was a smooth press, but I think he's going to get 3 whites on that. I saw a little bit of downward movement up at the top after he locks it out. He gets to a full lockout, and then it just kind of gets away from him and dips. Honestly, I think Mark might have gotten away with one there. But he got 3 whites, and unless the jury's going to step up to intervene, and I don't see him moving, Mark's going to get a good lift there at 210. It is a little hard to judge that, though, because I can't hear the rack command very clearly. But from my perspective, I think he had up and down on that. All right, so now we have the third attempt for Jerry Shetka, 87.5, and he needs this in order to stay in the competition. And unfortunately for Jerry, he's not going to get that. He had up and down and he jumped the rack command. It's a bummer to see. I think it's got to be his shoulder. You can see him wincing on the replay there. Did everything he could, but his shoulder just kind of gave out on him. Unfortunately, Jerry's not going to post a total. And that's going to take him out of the running for the money here. Fan favorite coming out, Monty Laffing, 100 kilos for his third attempt. I like the attempt selection going up to 220. The way things have moved for him, 5 kilos makes sense. I think Monty might be more fired up than anybody in the building right now. Great third attempt for Monty. Those are really good call. Maybe another 2.5 kilos in the tank. But with where he's at in the standings, it's not the worst thing to just make sure that you get that third attempt. Monty is, I think, the first lifter we've had in the entire session to start off 6 for 6. We've got a couple more that might be able to here. 122.5, loaded up, third attempt for on win. Took a little bit to get his start command, but does. Controlled to the chest, and he's not able to get it through that midpoint. That one kind of surprises me. I thought his first and second attempt moved well. I didn't have any doubts about that third. Got it about halfway up, just not able to lock it out. A little bit of a closer grip. Maybe his triceps are just a little bit tired and fatigued with how little rest we have in between attempts. 122.5, staying on the bar. Third attempt for Dwayne Madeir. Gets the unrack from the spotter. Not able to press this one. Dwayne's strategy there to sink the bar a little bit and try and fire it off the chest to use that momentum to get it. just not quite there. Maybe flared the elbows a little bit too early and didn't stay as compact as he needed to. He's still going to get credited with 117.5. And with a forecasted dots of 410, he's currently looking about 5th to 6th. So depending on how deadlifts shake out for him, he might be in the money. Ron Garofalo out now, his third attempt at 135, just up 2.5 kilos from his second. Ooh. Just not going to be able to lock it out there for Ron. Another lifter using that sink and drive technique. Two benches left before we go to a 10-minute break before deadlifts. $150 on the bar, a repeat of the second attempt for William Waller. He didn't have this one on strength on the second. Let's see if he can come back and hit it on his third. Spotter assisted liftoff for Will. Control to his chest. Just doesn't have it there. Just a little bit too much on the day. I'd like to think he may have had 147.5. Maybe opened a little bit too heavy. But with the amount of money that's on the line, guys are really going for it right here. And we are going to have our final bench press attempt of the session. Mark Leonard coming out, 212.5 kilos, 468.5 pounds. Third attempt, final bench press of the session. The second attempt moved pretty well. Controlled to the chest. That was a great third. Maybe another 2.5, 3 white lights, maybe 2.5 more in the tank. But I think Dane made a great call there for his lifter. And with that, we're done with the bench press portion of this session. We're going to go to a 10-minute break once the rack is broken down and getting set up for deadlifts. And we will see you in about 10 or 15 minutes.
This is the world's greatest powerlifting event.
The deadlift is a simple and pure feat of strength. Once the bar is loaded, lifters have 60 seconds to begin the lift. There are no start commands and you can begin whenever you like. The lifter has to stand up with the bar with their knees locked, hips at full extension, and their shoulders back. Once they do, they'll get a down command and can guide the bar back down to the floor. Easy peasy. There are 2 deadlift styles. In a conventional deadlift, lifters grip the bar outside of their legs, or they grip the bar in between their legs with a wider stance called a sumo deadlift. Each of 3 referees can give a red or a white light, and lifters need any 2 out of 3 white lights or better for a successful lift. There's a few reasons for a missed lift. It's a red card if they didn't stand all the way up with their shoulders back, or if they didn't lock their knees at the finish of the lift. It's a blue card if there is downward movement in the whole bar on their way up, or if they support the bar on their thighs to lever the bar up to lockout, sometimes called hitching or ramping. And it's a yellow card if they lower the bar before receiving the down command, or if they release or slam the bar to the floor, or if they lose balance and take a step by accident. Those are the rules of the deadlift.
This is the world's greatest powerlifting event.
The deadlift is a simple and pure feat of strength. Once the bar is loaded, lifters have 60 seconds to begin moving. There are no start commands and you can begin whenever you like. The lifter has to stand up with the bar with their knees locked, hips at full extension, and their shoulders back. Once they do, they'll get a down command and can guide the bar back down to the floor. Easy peasy. There are two deadlift styles. In a conventional deadlift, lifters grip the bar outside of their legs, or they grip the bar in between their legs with a wider stance called a sumo deadlift. Each of 3 referees can give a red or a white light, and lifters need any 2 out of 3 white lights or better for a successful lift. There's a few reasons for a missed lift. It's a red card if they didn't stand all the way up with their shoulders back, or if they didn't lock their knees at the finish of the lift. It's a blue card if there is downward movement in the whole bar on their way up, or if they support the bar on their thighs to lever the bar up to lockout, sometimes called pitching or ramping. And it's a yellow card if they lower the bar before receiving the down command, or if they release or slam the bar to the floor, or if they lose balance and take a step by accident. Those are the rules of the deadlift.
This is the world's greatest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to USA Powerlifting Pro Series Finals. This is Session 2, which is the Raw Masters division. The women are up first, and we are ready to start deadlifting. First deadlift of the afternoon, 110 for Helen White. She's able to lock it out. A little bit of a hard opener. She gets it 2-1. The right side official called her for not being locked out. A little difficult to see that from my perspective up here in the booth. $140 kilos going on the bar for the opening attempt of our now two-time world record holder, Shelly Stetner. She's hit a world record in both the squat and the bench press today. 140 should move pretty well for her. I've seen her hit a bit more than this on Instagram. A little slow off the floor, but the lockout was pretty darn quick. 3 white lights for the opener for Shelly. Going up 2.5 kilos now, 142.5 on the bar. First deadlift of the day for Heather Foss. The South Carolina State chair coming out. Easy looking opener, a little bit of a wobble up there at the top, but she's gonna get it. 3 white lights, and that's huge. That secures her total. And as things are going, she might be the leader in the clubhouse right now with the dots. $145 moved all right there for Deb. 3 white lights. $147.5 loaded up. Opening attempt for Janice Francis. Deadlifts are where things are going to get interesting here in this division. Three white lights, opening attempt for Janice Francis. We're going to go up another 10 kilos, 157.5, opening deadlift for Alicia Webb. Bar is loaded for Alicia. Snappy opener. She's going to get 3 white lights on that one. I think there's a couple officials out there who might have called her for a slam. Not saying that I would have, but I know a few that might have. Doesn't matter, though, because we weren't out there. She got 3 white lights, and we're going to go up to the second attempt. 115 kilos on the bar for Helen White. She got her opener of 110, 2-1. She was called for lockout issues from the right side official. Curious to see how this second attempt moves. Gets it to the knee and just doesn't have enough to finish it. $147.5 loaded on the bar for Deborah Mazzullo's second attempt. 3 white lights for the second attempt for Deborah. And now, Shelly Stetner is going to come out to attempt a third world record on the day. I imagine she's actually already got 3. She probably already has the total world record, considering she's got the squat world record and the bench world record. 150 kilos for Shelly. That's a pretty good second attempt there for Shelly. New world record, her third of the day at least, obviously her fourth with the total. 150 kilos staying on the bar for the second attempt of Heather Foss. Very controlled looking second attempt there for Heather. I think that was better than her opener. She didn't lose her balance at the top. $155 on the bar. Second attempt now for Janice Francis. 342 pounds. A 7.5 kilo increase from her opening attempt. Easy looking second attempt there for Janice. 3 white lights. $17.5 kilo increase here for Alicia Webb. Going up to 175 or 385 pounds. Her first attempt flew. Another 3 white light lift. Another snappy attempt there for Alicia. Final deadlifts for the Women's Raw Master Pro Series Final. $115 on the bar, retaking the second attempt for Helen White. Pulled her opener, got it 2-1. Called on one side for a lockout. Second attempt got just to her knee. Third attempt doesn't quite make it there. No lift for Helen. She's going to finish up her day going 5 for 9. $152.5 for the third attempt for Deborah Mazzullo. Just not there today for her. That is going to lock up a, I believe, 5th place finish for her. Shelly Stetner coming out, 157.5. Third and final deadlift for Shelly. She's had a great day thus far. She's broken all of the world records that we have. And she's looking to increase her own deadlift record another 7.5 kilos. Looking at age-adjusted dots, she's in first by a mile right here. Just not there. Grip gives at the last second. What an incredible attempt, though, by Shelly. I got to imagine she's feeling pretty good, though. Age-adjusted dots of 550. Heather Foss coming out now. 160 on the bar. She's able to lock it out there. 3 white lights for Heather. 160 is good. She's going to finish up her day going 8 for 9. Age-adjusted dots of about 440. 2 deadlift attempts remaining for the women. Janice Francis coming out, 7.5 kilo increase up to 162.5. Doesn't get it up to her knee. And that'll bring us up to our final deadlift attempt for the women. 180 kilos, 397 pounds going on the bar for Alicia Webb. With the age-adjusted dots right here, Alicia is trying to pull from 3rd place up to 2nd place behind Shelly. With how the first 2 moved, 5 kilos seems conservative, but I think that's all they need to take over 2nd. I think she's got to be a little bit careful on the slam, though. Snappy 2nd, or excuse me, snappy 3rd. That's how good that one looked. And there we have it. I believe Shelly Stetner is going to win the Women's Raw Master Division. Age-adjusted dots of 550. Out comes the fan favorite Monty Laughing. 172.5 kilos. His opening deadlift, 380 pounds. Easy looking opener for Monty. $220 on the bar. Opening deadlift for On Win. Pretty smooth opener there for On. Not the fastest, but he gets 3 white lights. I'd predict another 10 kilos for his 2nd here. We're going to add 10 kilos to the bar. 230 opening deadlift attempt for Jerry Shetka. Jerry did not post a successful bench attempt, so he is not going to impact the placing at all. elected to stay in the meet and continue. Pretty good opening deadlift, though, from Jerry. 3 white lights. $232.5 on the bar. Opening attempt for world record squatter Dwayne Madeir. Solid opening attempt there for Dwayne. Gets that one 2-1, a blue card on the right-hand side. See if I can pick out what that was called for. I think he would have been called for maybe a little bit of ramping, supporting on the thighs. It didn't look like there was any downward movement, at least not until after he locked out, which is not a reason to give that call. William Waller. Looked like he bumped his opening deadlift down significantly from what I saw before to 247.5. Locks it out, and he's going to get 3 white lights there. I could be mistaken, but I think his opener was originally written in for about 280. If that's the case, based off what I saw there, it was a good call to bump it down. Looking at the forecast, William is in 4th place, or forecasted to finish 4th. 255 on the bar. Opening attempt for Ron Garofalo. Gets his down command. I'm not convinced his knees were locked, but he does get the lift. 3 white lights. $270, the opening attempt for Mark Leonard. Mark is one of 2 lifters right now that are currently running perfect. $595 opening deadlift from Mark Leonard out of Michigan. Three white lights on that opener. $320 kilos, 705. The opening attempt for Robin Kensenheis. 320 is a dream deadlift for a lot of lifters. And Robin here is opening with it. Blink and you might miss it. 2 white lights there for Robin. Called for not being locked out by the left side official. Can't see it from my replay perspective, but doesn't mean it wasn't clear from that other side. So we had a perfect first round of deadlifts from the men. 182.5 on the bar. Second attempt for the fan favorite Monty Laughing. Current currently in fourth, predicting to stay in fourth if he hits this. Three white lights, great second attempt there for Monty. I'm going to guess he's going to have another 10, maybe 7.5 kilos there. I'd like to see him go up maybe 12.5, but it really all just kind of depends on what positioning does for him. Second attempt now for on win, 237.5. Taking a bigger jump than I expected, going up 17.5 kilos. He's currently sixth, forecasted to stay in sixth with this. Pulling that one in slow motion, but he's going to get 3 white lights for it. Second attempt now, Dwayne Madeir. 240 kilos, just up 7.5. Currently in second, forecasted to stay in second. Locks it out and gets his down command. 3 white lights there for Dwayne. I'm not trying to jinx it, but I might here. So far, we're perfect for deadlifts for the men about halfway through. Jerry Shetka coming out. Second attempt at 242.5. His opening attempt moved pretty well. He's going to get that attempt there. 3 white lights. I think Jerry's got to be hurt. I think his shoulder was bugging him on bench, and that's why he ended up not completing one. And there you could tell there was a bit of a grimace. Sizable jump, 17.5 kilos for William Waller. 265 on the bar, 584. Second attempt there for William moved better than his first. He's going to get the lift 2-1. You can say red card from the front for not being locked out. Not sure whether that was his knees, his hips, or his shoulders. It looked good from up here. World record attempt for Ron Garofalo. This will be his second world record of the day if successful. He's already in first by a decent margin. He's trying to extend that. 275. We have a 20-kilo jump, crossing over 600 pounds here for Ron. Ron gets the down command, but he's going to get no lift on that one for not being locked out. You could see it in his knees, a little bit of a bend in him with that sumo stance that he had. $20-kilo increase for Mark Leonard. Up to 290, 639. Mark gets the lift, 3 white lights. Bit of a grind there. I don't see another 20 kilos going on it. Maybe 7.5 or 10. Talk about big jumps. We have a 30 kilo increase here. Up from 320 all the way to 350, 771. Third attempt for Robin Kensenheis. Getting the crowd fired up as they should be. World record attempt for Robin. Fast to the knees, gets the lockout. 3 white lights for Robin. Great second attempt. He's going mad on the platform. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are on to the final deadlifts of the session. The final 8 lifts for Session 2, USAPL Pro Series Finals for the Raw Masters. Coming out first to take their third will be the fan favorite Monty Laughlin, 192.5, trying to go 9 for 9. Trying to pull himself from 5th into 4th place. Not quite onto the podium, but that is a pay bump. We've heard it from Monty all day. Is he going to get this final pull? Gets it past his knee and locks it out. That's 3 white lights for Monty. 9 for 9 on the day. As it stands, age-adjusted Dots pulled himself over the 500 mark. He's currently in 4th place. Jumping up to 242.5 kilos. Third and final attempt for On Win. Currently in 6th, is going to stay in 6th regardless of whether or not he makes this. Only up 5 kilos from a second, which was a bit of a grinder. Just not able to get it to his knees. Looking up at the board, ladies and gentlemen, we have a world record attempt. Third and final deadlift for Dwayne Madeir. 245 kilos, 540 pounds on the bar for Dwayne Madeir. Taking his time, sizing up the bar. Gets it past his knee. So close to being locked out. Oh, and it's just not there. 5 kilo jump just ends up being a little bit too much for him. As it stands, he's in 2nd place, and it doesn't look like there's anybody out there with attempts lined up to try and bump him off a second. Jerry Shetka coming out to take his 3rd and final pull at 255. This attempt will not impact placing. Not there for Jerry today. Gets it to just under the knee. It looked like the bar got a little bit away from him. Bars loaded, final attempt for William Waller. Sitting in third, trying to lock it up with 272.5, up 7.5 kilos from his second, which I thought moved pretty well, but I think he only got it 2-1. I think deadlift might be Will's best lift here. 3 white lights for him. Good pull at 600 pounds. He's going to lock up third place with that. We have a retake for Ron Garofalo. Missed his second. His knees were not locked out, but we have a re-attempt at a world record, 275 kilos, 606 on the bar for Ron Garofalo. He was able to pull it, just did not have the lockout. It was fast. He wasn't locked down, and it looks like he beat the down command. Great effort from him, though. And he already locked up first place with the age-adjusted dots. So that pull was just for glory there, going for that world record. Mark Leonard coming out to take a third attempt at 655 pounds, 297.5 kilos. Seems like an appropriate jump for how his second moved. And I think that was a spot-on call for his third. Mark wraps up his day going 9 for 9. Locks up 7th position. And now we have another world record attempt for Robin. 360 kilos, up 10 kilos from his previous attempt, trying to extend his own world record, 793.5 pounds. He went nuts after he got it the last time. I can only imagine what he's going to do if he pulls this one. We've got other lifters in this session coming out of the back room wanting to watch this. Absolutely massive pull. I can't understate that at all. Oh, just not there for him today. Fantastic day, though, for Robin. Sets a world record in the deadlift at 350 kilos. All right, ladies and gentlemen. They're stripping the bar down. That is it for the Raw Masters session. In just a few hours, we're going to open up for the Raw Open, men and women. I believe we have the top 5 and 6 women and men competing for $15,000 for first place this evening. Just real quick, want to give a big thank you to our spotters and loaders. The UTSA boys always do a fantastic job. They're very quick, unbelievably quick. I think at Raw Nationals this year, their average bar load time was under 15 seconds. Big thank you to Texas Strength System San Antonio, our host and main sponsor. Thank you to all of our officials traveling far and wide to be here. Just looking out there, we've got officials from Michigan, Nebraska, Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina. These events are no small thing. A lot of work goes into these. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to go ahead and sign off here. Session 2, Raw Masters, is complete. See you in a few hours for Raw Open.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I hope that my voice is projecting enough that I don't need a microphone. I would like to thank you very much for your attendance, your encouragement of the athletes this afternoon. This afternoon with this session, our chief referee, Jim Battenfield, was testing for our highest referee accreditation, which is the Category 1 tie. You see, currently he's wearing the blue tie, which is a Category 2 international referee. And today he had to manage our weigh-in, equipment check, and then conduct the platform, resolve any problems, issues, or whatever, and then be judged by the jury of 3 international 1 category referees. And he had to have 40 squats, 20 benches, and 20 deadlifts in order to achieve this. So I would like you to put your hands together and help me join me in congratulating. You're welcome. I got from you an extra one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jess.
Woo!
Way to go, everything! Thank you.
Sorry, you click on there, you know how to do results on there, right? Click on the results tab, so you know it all.
Time is the next conversation starting. Oh, 6 o'clock? Yeah. First, second, third, I got you, pal.
There's only 2 blocks that are off the week. Individually, and there'll be in the morning, and there'll be another one.
I don't want it. Oh, they're so good. That's what I should have told you guys to do. That's where you got it.
Wes.
Honestly, I think so. No, it's like, yeah, there's.
When?
We're ready?
Yeah. All right, have a seat. We're going to give out the numbers. In the first category, women's raw masters. The bronze medal position, Kathy White. Kathy White is receiving the check for $1,000.
Y'all look better without me.
Are they chest here?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. She, the world record, she's got those tested. Congratulations. To you as well. Yes. Yes, it has been.
Y'all look good, I think.
Here we go. We good? Okay, thank you. Okay, thanks a lot.
Right here.
Receiving a check for